Did you know Julia Louis-Dreyfus once nearly got arrested? Or that Jason Alexander was so frustrated with his role that he almost quit the show entirely? In this video, we will uncover 20 weird facts about Seinfeld that even the most loyal fans don't know. Number 1. The pilot was almost cancelled before airing. When NBC first saw the pilot episode of Seinfeld, they hated it. Executives thought it was too New York and too Jewish to appeal to a wide audience. In fact, NBC only ordered 4 episodes as a test run, the smallest order in TV history at the time. If ratings had dipped even slightly, the show would have been cancelled immediately. Imagine, the show about nothing nearly became nothing itself before it even began. Number 2. Kramer's real name almost wasn't Kramer. Fans know him as Cosmo Kramer, but originally, the character was supposed to be named Kessler. Why? Because the real-life inspiration for the character, Larry David's neighbor, Kenny Kramer, was threatening to sue if they used his name. Eventually, Kenny allowed it, but only after NBC promised he wouldn't be portrayed negatively. Number 3. George Costanza was based on a real person. George wasn't just a character, he was Larry David in disguise. Many of George's neurotic behaviors, cheap tendencies, and awkward social blunders were directly lifted from David's real life. For example, George's infamous double-dip chip fight actually happened to Larry at a party. Number 4. Julia Louis-Dreyfus saved Elaine from being forgotten. Here's something most fans don't know. Elaine wasn't in the original pilot. The show originally featured a waitress character instead of her. After test audiences said the show needed a strong female character, producers brought in Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Without her addition, Seinfeld would have been a completely different show, and we'd never have had the famous yada 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 or sponge-worthy moments. Number 5. Kramer never had a storyline at table reads. Michael Richards, who played Kramer, had an unusual acting method. During table reads, his parts were often left flat because his comedy was almost entirely physical. Richards refused to perform during reading. Instead, he saved his energy for the live audience. This often worried directors, but once cameras rolled, he'd steal the scene every single time. Number 6. No hugging, no learning was a real rule. The famous rule of Seinfeld, no hugging, no learning, wasn't just a joke. Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld insisted that the show never become sentimental or preachy. Characters were never supposed to grow, learn lessons, or become better people. This is why, in the final episode, they're on trial for being terrible human beings. Number 7. Newman was never supposed to appear on screen. Newman was first mentioned in Season 2 as Jerry's unseen neighbor who tried to jump off the building. Originally, he was just a voice, but producers liked the character so much, they cast Wayne Knight to bring him to life. Knight's chemistry with Jerry was so good that Newman became one of the most hated and funniest recurring characters in TV history. Number 8. The Soup Nazi hated his fame. The Soup Nazi episode was based on a real New York soup vendor named Al Yeganay, but when the episode aired, Yeganay was furious. He hated being called the Soup Nazi and banned anyone who mentioned Seinfeld from his shop. Ironically, the episode made his restaurant world famous, but Yeganay reportedly never forgave the show for how it portrayed him. Number 9. Jerry Seinfeld turned down $110 million. NBC wanted a 10th season of Seinfeld so badly, they offered Jerry Seinfeld $5 million per episode, totaling $110 million. He turned it down, saying he wanted the show to end on a high note and not drag on. It remains one of the most shocking decisions in TV history, walking away from what would have been the richest contract ever for a sitcom actor. Number 10. The final episode divided America. When the finale aired in 1998, over 76 million people tuned in, making it one of the most watched episodes in TV history. But here's the twist. Most fans hated it. Many felt the trial episode was too dark and unsatisfying. To this day, the Seinfeld finale remains one of the most controversial endings in television. Number 11. Jason Alexander almost quit the show. Jason Alexander, who played George, nearly walked away in season 3. Why? Because he felt underused when Julia Louis-Dreyfus got more storyline. He even told Larry David, "If you don't need me, just kill George off." Larry promised things would change, and, sure enough, George soon became one of the show's most important characters. Number 12. The puffy shirt became a museum piece. The infamous puffy shirt from season 5, yes, the ridiculous pirate shirt Jerry wore on live television, didn't just stay in the costume department. It's now on display at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. A comedy prop turned into an actual piece of American cultural heritage. That's how iconic Seinfeld became. Number 13. Jerry never changed clothes on purpose. Ever notice how Jerry Seinfeld always seems to wear the same type of outfit? Jeans, sneakers, and tucked-in button-down shirts. That wasn't laziness. It was intentional. The idea was to make Jerry look timeless and unaffected by fashion trends. Unlike the other characters, the consistency gave the show a strange, cartoon-like quality where characters never truly aged. Number 14. Larry David voiced George's fiancé's father. When Susan, George's fiancé, appeared on the show, her father was voiced by none other than Larry David himself. You can hear Larry's distinctive voice in the background of several episodes. This was a little Easter egg that most fans didn't catch at the time, but once you know it, it's impossible to unhear Larry in the role. Number 15. The Chinese restaurant episode was a gamble. One of the most famous episodes, the Chinese restaurant, was almost cut by NBC. The episode takes place entirely in the restaurant's waiting area, with no scene changes. Executives thought audiences would find it boring. Larry David even threatened to quit if it wasn't aired. And the result is a groundbreaking sitcom episode that redefined what TV comedy could be, all set in one location. Number 16. The parking garage was pure chaos. Another legendary episode, The Parking Garage, was filmed in an actual parking lot in Los Angeles. But here's the kicker. They didn't get permission to film there. Security constantly tried to shut down the production. The final scene, where the car wouldn't start, wasn't scripted. The car actually broke down. The cast's frustration in that moment was 100% real. Number 17. Julia Louis-Dreyfus nearly got arrested. During one episode's filming, Julia Louis-Dreyfus parked her car in a spot reserved for studio executives. Security booted her car, and she almost got arrested when she refused to move it. It turned into an inside joke on set. Elaine fighting parking authority in real life, just like in the show. Number 18. The show inspired a real Kramer tour. Remember Kenny Kramer, the real-life neighbor who inspired the character? After the show became a hit, he started Kramer's reality tour in New York City. Tourists could hop on a bus and visit the real locations that inspired the sitcom. This tour became so popular, it even inspired an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Number 19. The cast didn't get along at first. Believe it or not, the chemistry you see on screen didn't exist in the early days. The cast reportedly had a rocky relationship, with different personalities clashing behind the scenes. But over time, they became incredibly close, even forming a pact to negotiate salaries together in the later seasons, ensuring they were all paid equally. Number 20. The first episode title was a joke. Ever notice that early Seinfeld episodes have weird, plain titles like The Stakeout or The Robbery? That was intentional. Jerry and Larry didn't want artsy, clever episode names. Instead, they picked dull, everyday titles to highlight the show's about-nothing theme. Even the pilot's working title, The Seinfeld Chronicles, was scrapped for being too dramatic.